takeaway. The name of the book is The Mindful Money Mentality. We've all learned a lot from observing the way she conducts herself and handles herself and the topic of her speeches. And so, that said, let me introduce Holly Thomas.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. This is goodbye. How many of you feel you've been in Toastmasters long enough to watch people grow? Yes. Watch people like Mackenzie Gasperson, a quiet teenager, fully develop her confidence and poise. A diligent note-taker like Alan Williamson become our professor of accounting and redneck humor. Christina Davey transporting us to the celery fields. Harry Sontag and Brian Brannigan bringing their humor skills every week on the line consistently. There's so many more in here. It would take me all day to go through how many times I have said how far they've come. Well, my own growth in Toastmasters has not been a straight line of constant improvement. There have been setbacks. There were days when I just wasn't on. Technology broke, life happened, and I just didn't feel like bouncing back. But this club carried me through. For the next several minutes, I'd like to just talk about the highlights that came out of the lowlights for me. It all started here in May of 2001. I was a 35-year-old banker on the move. Or I had been on the move until 3 months before I joined, when I had the worst job interview of my life. I was a shoo-in for this promotion. I had met all the performance criteria. I had written recommendations from my manager, my clients, and my peers. All I had to do was sit in front of 5 people and answer questions about how I got to where I was. And when my turn came, I fell apart. I didn't get the promotion. Everybody was shocked. I was supremely embarrassed. And that awful, painful feeling is what brought me here. A year later, I was up for the promotion again. And that time flew by. I was prepared with stories and examples, and by the end of the panel interview, we were all laughing. I got what I came to Toastmasters for. I got the promotion. But something about that growth was addictive, and I wanted to keep coming back. Even though I made the next rung on the ladder, I had no idea over the next 15 years what other ladders would appear. The Toastmasters helped me see that I didn't even dream of deserving when I was 35. In 2003, I gave a speech called Risky Business, and I started off by sliding across the stage in my socks. Just kidding. It was about the emotions that enter into our minds when it comes to money, and it was pretty well received. So I developed it into a workshop and was asked to give that workshop to a group called the Renaissance Forum of Executives. That led to some Rotary speeches and eventually to my first paid speech for the Tampa Chamber of Commerce. I continued working my way through the manual, and in 2005, I gave a speech about my Weight Watchers experience. I decided to enter it in the international speech contest here, and I won. Then I won at area. Then I won at division. And the next thing I know, I'm at the district contest in a big hall with 600 people from all over Florida and the Bahamas and lots of great speakers. I was seated next to a contestant from Sarasota who told me this was his 3rd time through, and he had hired a professional coach, and this time he was going all the way. I let him shatter my confidence. I got up on stage, and it was not my best. And it was even more disappointing because it's the only time my father saw me speak. I came back to the club with my tail between my legs. But many members here told me how much I had accomplished in a short period of time. In the meantime, I was miserable at work. I had a dream of starting my own business where I could provide financial planning by the hour without conflicts of interest. But in order to be the best professional I could, I needed outstanding listening skills. Where did I start to get those skills? Right here in Toastmasters. I'm now going on my 10th year in business. Toastmasters gave me the gumption to let go of the old ladder and start a new one. In 2006, I started to publish my material about the psychology of money online. I started with an e-letter 3 to 4 times a year and had a dream of it really being monthly. I called it The View from the Porch, and a member of Toastmasters told me after a couple of years, you know, you really could share a little more of yourself in your e-letter. And so I shared my emotions about money, my stories, my mistakes, and my lessons learned in it. Since 2012, The View from the Porch has earned Constant Contact's All-Star Award every year for reader engagement and retention. And I use it to keep in touch with people, so if any of you would like to sign up, I'll tell you how afterwards. In 2008, my dad died suddenly, and I withdrew into my shell. I didn't want to come to Toastmasters. I didn't want to speak. It took 2 years before I was ready to turn his tragedy into a gift by researching and delivering a speech on suicide prevention in his memory. Toastmasters helped me get through a really dark period. In 2009, I was meeting with a Toastmaster friend, and she said, I think you have a book in you. So I went straight to the hospital and got an ultrasound. I never had kids, but there was a book. And I started writing it. A little while later, I attended a Toastmasters Leadership Conference where I heard about NSA, the National Speakers Association, which is for professional speakers, many of whom are authors. NSA is where I started learning what it takes to be a true professional when you charge for what you speak about and write. Since then, I've been paid to speak from California to Columbus to Chicago and all points or many points in between. Because of Toastmasters, I had the gumption to jump on the ladder of speaking as a real business venture. In 2013, the book, After a 4-Year Pregnancy, came out. Here it is. Just as my 26-year marriage was imploding. Confidence was at an all-time low. But if it had not been for the book, I might not have made it through it all. At the time, I was looking for a safe place to live on my own, and I kept ending up with Harbor Island. And I complained to a Toastmaster friend, you know, Harbor Island is where all the divorcees go. It's like the land of lost marriages. And she wrote back, well, maybe you could think of it more like the land of broken promises and new beginnings. And that reframing helped me feel better about my circumstances. Now I just think of it as Harbor Island. But once again, a Toastmaster helped me heal. A couple of months after the book came out and I was divorced, I needed help marketing the book. So I called a fellow author and speaker from NSA, Ken Donaldson, to ask him about marketing ideas. As you now know, our business relationship blossomed into more. Ken and I have now been together almost 2 years. Without Toastmasters, I would not have met Ken at NSA. I would not have someone to collaborate with on new material about the psychology of money and our relationship with money. I would not have embarked on the second serious relationship of my entire life, and now be moving in with him. So depending on how you feel about my exit, you can either blame him or thank him. Today, I'm 17 days away from my 50th birthday. Despite the challenges, I jumped and climbed other ladders. I've achieved dreams I didn't dare to have when I was 35. I have a successful hourly financial planning practice. I wrote a book. I have an award-winning e-letter. I have a wonderful romantic relationship. And I have a personal brand known by leaders in my industry on a topic I'm passionate about. Wow. But what I've gained from my time here is much more than that. I've gained a weekly dose of Wednesday humor, expansion of my listening skills, the joy of watching hidden talent emerge and blossom, deep friendships, really cool business relationships, and lots of fun. So how about you? Imagine it's 15 years from now, December 2nd, 2030. You are standing in front of a group of your peers and friends, reflecting on how you got to where you are. There were challenges in those 15 years. Did you allow others to help you through them? Did you search for the gifts in the tragedies? Did you dare to dream something today, this morning, December 2nd, 2015, that you hadn't thought you could dare to dream till now? Are you on the right ladder? And if you are, do you really know how high you can climb? If you know the answers to those questions, you are in the right program, in the right place, with the right people to help you get there. I hope you dare to dream it.